Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome for the first time. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about this. Not this. I'm going to be showing you my updated straight hair routine because a couple somebodies have been asking about an update. I think the last one I did was a couple years ago, or maybe last year, or maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember. But I straightened my hair and I recorded it, and so I wanted to share it with you guys. I did use a new product that I don't usually use, so check that out because I actually really like the way my hair turned out. It's light and the ends are nice. I mean, my ends really need to be cut again, but it really smoothed it out, as you can see. Yeah, I know I need a trim, okay? Don't come for me. But if you want to see how I got this straight, sleek hair, then keep on watching. Alright you guys, so I am starting this style on some freshly washed hair, and as you can see it's kind of dry. It's because I washed my hair the night before. So I washed it and I let it dry maybe like 90% of the way. I still want it a little damp right in the center just so I can apply that first portion of heat via the blow dryer, and that gets like the texture out of my hair. And then the flat iron, the purpose of that is to just smooth it out and make it straight the rest of the way. So really when you straighten your hair, you want your blow dryer to do most of the work to get the kinks out of your hair, to get the frizz out, and to smooth down the ends without drying them out. That's the key thing. That's why I leave a little bit of dampness in my hair, so I'm not just adding dry heat onto super dry hair. That is not good for your hair. Honestly, heat in general isn't good for your hair, but for the purpose of this video and to show you what I did for my updated flat iron routine, this is how I did it. So here's pretty much the same thing. I'm still going to work in fourths of hair. Now if my hair was more damp, then I would take smaller sections and work that way, but since it was fairly dry, I'm just going to split my hair into 4 even sections and work from the back to the front. Now here is the product that was a game changer for me. I randomly picked this up at Walmart because it was on sale, and I was kind of desperate because the last time I straightened my hair, it was awful. I actually straightened it right before we went on my little birthday trip, and it was cute when we left the house, but then the 2-hour drive, by the time I got out of the car, ooh, yeah. So this was the difference. So this is literally the only thing that I did differently. I used a different heat protectant. When I straightened my hair before my birthday, I used a much thicker, almost serum-like heat protectant, and that does not work on my hair. I think I tried that a couple years ago and the same thing happened. I just wanted to try it again, and still the same thing happened. It ended up frizzing up so quickly and really drying the ends of my hair out. So for me, what works for me and keeps my flat iron lasting the longest is when I use either no heat protectant, which I know is not good, or something really watery and thin. I also think this product works wonders because of the little bit of oil it has in it, along with the keratin. So too much keratin on my hair actually makes it really dry and brittle, but I guess this has the right amount because it just coats your hair and gives it that extra layer of protection without making it too moist on the inside, if that makes any sense. Some products can like trap the moisture in, and you think your hair is dry and straight and everything is good, but a couple hours later you end up with a lot of frizz, and that's because whatever you use is probably a humectant and it's just drawing the moisture from the air into your hair. So the keratin and the little bit of Moroccan oil, it really helped my hair, and actually this time that I straightened it, it lasted for weeks. So So you guys, when I blow dry my hair, the secret for me is to keep that heat moving. Don't concentrate it too long on one specific section of your hair, and try not to let it hit the ends of your hair. That's why I do a lot of drying, like air drying, so that the ends are already dry, and then just go back and hit the middle, the root of your hair. So once the section is done, I just twist it out of the way and move on to the next. As you can see, when I'm applying the heat protectant, I start with the ends of my hair first, and then I work up to the root. I also split it in half just to get the inside to make sure that I have a really good coating of heat protectant, and then I go through and brush it through just to make sure that it's evenly distributed. Of course, when you brush your hair, you want to start at the ends and work your way up to the root. But my hair is pretty much detangled anyway, so it was fairly easy. I don't know what I'm saying. It was fairly easy to get it all straight. And now it's time for a blow dry. So once my whole head is blow dried, I go ahead and take those twisted sections down, and then I'm going to start blow drying my hair all the way around. Before I do this, I turn the blow dryer to the lowest setting so it's not super strong heat. I just want like warm air, and I'll alternate between using the cool shot. I do this because I always tend to part my hair the same way, either a part down the middle or one on either side of my head. So doing this, it kind of gives the opportunity to retrain the follicles, just so they're not always falling in one of those parts. Alright, so my hair is completely dry. There's no damp patches anywhere. So now I'm going to go back and re-part my hair in those fourths, and I can start straightening it now. I've been saying this since my very first straight hair video, but the most important thing when you're straightening your hair, if you want it to last a while, is to use really small sections. If you don't use small sections, then you're going to risk burning your hair because you're going to keep going over that same spot, and all you're doing is adding heat to the top and bottom portion of that section while the middle is barely getting hit with any heat. So you want to use really small sections and go down the hair shaft slowly and evenly so that you're not stopping and causing any further heat damage. Also important to note that I don't add any more products before I straighten my hair. You want to make sure that your hair is evenly coated with your heat protectant before you start straightening. So you want to do that really well during the blow dry process. For really smooth and sleek hair, especially at the ends, you want to use the chase method. Now usually when I use the chase method, I use a really small brush, but I couldn't find it. I think it got lost in our move, so I'm using my rat tail comb. The purpose of the chase method is to let your comb or brush go a couple inches before the flat iron, and this clears out any possible tangles or knots so that when you are flat ironing it, you're not flat ironing in knots. So your hair doesn't get really frizzy and kinky, it's just sleek and smooth and straight. Let me go ahead and say this as a disclaimer. There's absolutely nothing wrong with kinky or curly hair. I'm just saying that because you don't want to spend all this time putting so much heat on your hair only for it to revert, a couple hours or the next day. I'm just giving you tips on how to make your ends and the rest of your hair as smooth as you possibly can get it. So now once that section is done, I'm just going to do a pin curl to get that out of the way. That also trains my ends to not be so limp and straight. I don't know what I'm dancing to once again. But I go ahead and bobby pin that out of the way and move on to the next section. Now the front of my hair I do a little bit differently. I do not go all the way to the front, like to the edges of my hair with heat. I am trying to get this patch of hair back. This is either lost from a hormonal imbalance or from all the gels that I used to try to swoop. I knew I shouldn't have been swooping my hair, but yeah, that's from like either heat damage or traction. I really don't know what it's from. I gotta do my experimentations, but I just try to avoid as much heat as possible up there. I don't know if you noticed, but when I was blow drying it, I don't put heat directly at the front of my hair, and I haven't used any gels or anything up there, so I'm gonna give it a couple months and see if that comes back. But yeah, I don't put any heat right at the edges of my hair. I just let them go. They just look frizzy. It's fine. Usually, I am a huge advocate of only doing one pass of the flat iron. That's why it's really important to have a good flat iron and that it has even heat distribution across the plates. But sometimes your ends need a little extra help. So a couple of times you'll see me doing like one pass and then just going back over the ends of my hair. And that's because I probably saw like a kink or something that the chase method did not take care of. And also, I've had these Remington flat irons for literal years. I think they're over 10 years old, so it's probably time for me to get a new pair, but they still work pretty well. Now that one side of my head is done, I'm going to go ahead and move over to the back fourth side of my head and do the exact same thing. When my whole head is flat ironed and all the pin curls are installed, I'm just going to go ahead and put my scarf on so that it can set and my ends can be nice and bent and have a little bit of movement when I take it down. Also, the scarf, I find that it tends to just like flatten and compress everything and keep the curls nicely in place. Okay, I was really about to go in singing both Kiki and Yvonne's parts, but you know, I'll save you guys that. Now that my makeup is done and the hair is set, I'm going to go ahead and take my scarf off and take these pins down. So you'll probably notice that there's a little bit of a kink where the pins are. You can prevent this by using, what are those called? Like the duck bill clips with the paper on them. They don't put that little kink in your hair, but I find that after a couple hours that usually falls down, so it's not really a big deal. Or if you're in if you're pressed for time and you want that little ridge that the bobby pin left, you want it gone, you can go back over it with your flat iron just to remove that kink. But I don't really want to add any extra heat to my hair, and I had time, so I'm just going to let it fall out naturally.
That's it. That is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and let me know if you've tried that Tresemme products, because it really worked on my hair, surprisingly. It's hit or miss sometimes with these kind of products, but I like the results. So let me know if you tried it, and please stay tuned for my next video. It probably will be the proposal footage / my birthday trip. So if you want to see how that all went down, just stay tuned for the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please remember to subscribe and comment and like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. So we have grown. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but this is how far it's gotten. It's I don't know how to measure that, but it's gotten pretty long. I do want to